Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. And today it is an honor and privilege to have Miss Janet Gardner and Justin James on the show. We're going to be talking about her new debut solo album, actually, and she's got a debut solo album out now. I figured she would have one out way before this, but we'll get right into that. We'll get right into that with her and James here, Justin here, in just a few minutes. But it's great to have them on the show. So, Janet, Justin, how's it going?
Great. Yeah, how you doing?
Doing awesome. Let's jump right into this for you guys. What's impressed you both the most about making this debut solo album? What's caught your eyes about it, if anything, on this for both of you?
You know what? For me personally, it was just how much fun it was making it and how relaxed and organic everything was that came together, and obviously the songs that we were able to put out together when we put our two heads together.
Yeah, it was a great collaboration. We were a little bit nervous about it at first because we're married, of course, and that can get kind of sticky if things don't go well. And the opposite happened. It just brought us closer together, and we just enjoyed every minute of it.
So what was it for you, Janet, that gave you that push? I know you said you're married to Justin, but was he the push behind this to say, hey, look, let's get you a solo album out there? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, we kind of, like I said, we were nervous about it, so it just sort of happened naturally. And, the first song came out, and we thought, wow, that was fun. That was easy, and I think it's pretty good. So we kept going, and after we got a few songs, we decided, hey, this isn't a fluke. We're actually on a roll here. So then we started to figure out what to do with it. We thought, well, we could do a band name. We could come up with like a duo name. It's like, well, I've never done a solo album before, so now might be the time for that. So that's what it is.
Now, Justin, you produced this album, correct?
We both produced it. We both have hands in the mixing and mastering and everything involved in it.
Janet, how hard did you push yourself on this solo album? I know you said it flowed pretty simply, but how hard did you push yourself on this? And plus, working with Justin on this and being married to him, and plus being a producer, and you both producing this.
Well, yeah, we did everything together, but we did have strengths, individually that really helped push things along. I'm very technically challenged. So Justin was definitely the researcher and the finding the best plugins, the best mastering stuff, and he would set all that stuff up. So that took a lot of pressure off of me technically, and my strength is definitely in more of the arrangements of the songs, parts, and how to get from point A to point B and that kind of stuff. So when one of us would be kind of like, need a break or something, the other person would pick up the ball and run with it. So it was a great partnership in that way. It really made it so that we didn't have all the pressure on ourselves, but we were both willing to take on a lot. And it was great, too, that we both had time together and separately. I sang all my lead vocals alone because that way I would experiment and I wouldn't be embarrassed if there was something I didn't quite hit the first time, the first try at it. And Justin would do the same with his solos. He would just, just be free to do whatever he felt like doing. And so it was good in that way too.
For the both of you, are there any songs off the solo album that stand out more to each of you, if any, on it, possibly?
It's funny. It's like trying to pick your favorite child. They're all very special and they all mean a lot to us because, they came from our heart and soul. So it's hard to pick a favorite. I can't even.
It's funny because it's like from day to day, it's like there's a new favorite. And as we were working on the album, as soon as we did a new song, it was like, that's my favorite song on the album. And I mean, every song just has its own special magic to us on there. So it's so hard to pick one out of the bunch.
Do you guys do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your minds open and fresh, to stay focused and not let the music get stale? Do you guys do anything differently?
I think, we're really loose with each other. We're relaxed. We had a lot of fun. We would laugh. We would joke, kind of poke fun at each other every now and then. And I think that just, again, took so much pressure off of it. And when we started this, we never had the attitude of we have to sound like this or we have to write this radio-friendly hit type song. We just did what came from our hearts. And I think that just really, really helped keep everything fresh and relaxed through the whole process.
Yeah, and I think also the way our lives are now, we have a lot of stuff going on. So it forced us once in a while to step away from it. Because I think we're both the type of people that, if allowed to stay up for 3 days straight with no sleep and just pound at the songs over and over again, we're both like good candidates for that. And we've both done that a lot in the past. But it was good that we were so busy with other things, too, that it forced us to step away. And then when we came back, you'd have a little different perspective. And you go, oh, I know exactly what it needs now. So... And it helped doing it at home, too, because we could be in the middle of doing something else and go, oh, wait a minute, I got an idea. I know how to fix this. And one of us would run down and fix whatever was in your head, rather than if you're in a studio, you have the pressure of doing it right then and there. And, you go home and you have a great idea. And then by the morning, it's gone. Mm-hmm. So I think that really helped, too.
What do you hope the fans take away from this debut solo album once they start to listen to it, or just any of your guys' music at all in general?
Well, it comes from your soul, and the best compliments that you ever receive is that it moved someone in some way. It made them feel something. It helped them through a hard time, or they needed a pick-me-up, and so they put one of our songs on, and it made them feel better. Those are the things that really make you feel great about doing it, no matter the outcome, if it sells a gazillion copies or 50 copies. Those are the things that make you feel like you've done something that means something.
Pretty much I agree with everything she just said there. To hear that people enjoy it and that, again, it touched a spot in them or they can relate to it. That is the greatest compliment you could hear, and it feels so good.
Now, you guys just did a little tour here recently, but for the fans that have not got to see you guys play live yet, what can they expect of a show from you?
Just a lot of energy. I mean, the feedback we're hearing from the people that have seen us is that, it's just a great time, a lot of fun. I mean, we go up there, we bust our ass, we get totally lost in the music. And just a lot of energetic fun. Janet's been jumping off stage and singing with the fans, and they seem to be loving that. And it's all about just letting all the everyday problems in the world go and just have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying the looseness of our show. We crack jokes, we talk to people. Like Justin said, we go out into the audience. Because a lot of times with Vixen shows and stuff, I can't do that. I can't get off the stage. So yeah. I'm really enjoying getting more personal and being able to get closer and looser and talk to people and just have fun. We're just having a great time.
And you know what? And you've been around for a long time, guys. When that interaction like that with a crowd and a fan, that sticks with them more than anything. Getting out to do that with them while you're doing the show.
Yeah, I think people really get a kick out of it. And now, of course, with cameras and everything, everybody's taking selfies while I'm singing, out in the crowd and stuff. And, it's fun. It's good stuff. We're really enjoying it. And hopefully the people coming to the show are having as much fun as we are.
So do you guys like this digital era of recording albums and social media and getting stuff out quicker that we're in today? Do you guys like this or no?
Well, it has advantages and disadvantages. It's nice to have a connection to people that you normally wouldn't have, people in different parts of the world, different parts of the country. You can connect with them on social media. You used to have to wait for fan mail, and that took forever. And, yeah, I'm old. But it's great. And then, sometimes it's a lot to deal with. You're expected to go on all these different types of social media, and it's time consuming sometimes, and we're on the go. It's good and it's kind of a pain sometimes, but it's always great to have that connection to people.
Yeah, one of the pluses is it is so much easier to get music out there now to people, but that's also the double-edged sword because all the thousands and millions of other great bands out there are doing the same thing. So, you know, it's really hard to keep yourself relevant and everybody's attention, you know?
Support-wise, guys, is there a country or a region or state that stands out more or surprises you that you guys get a lot of support from that area?
You know, it's funny. One of the places right now, I mean, right now it's been, for the most part, it's been pretty even across the board. But we've been getting a lot from our record label, a lot of stuff, you know, for radio press and things like that. In an area out in Idaho, Lewiston, Idaho, we get a radio thing from that. I guess they did some kind of Battle of the Bands thing for new music and stuff. And apparently we've won this thing. I mean, my God, like almost a month, you know, every day straight for a month, and just been getting tons of love out there, and never would have pictured that in a million years.
And Janet, no, you're not old. I'm going to say this right now. I do remember Vixen when I was growing up, and the first time I saw the Vixen video, I was like, "Whoa, this is pretty nice."
She looks better now than she did then.
So you're fine, trust me. In your guys' opinion, what does this group bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, if anything, possibly?
I think one of from my perspective with that whole thing is I think something that's really unique about it is it's got more, I mean, it definitely has some of the 80s things that people would expect in it, but it also has a real modern, fresh sound to it, more like the Hailstorms and the 6 a.m. But yet at the same time, it's got Janet's voice over it, which is just, you know, at times beautiful, melodic, sweet sounding, which you don't hear, I think, in a lot of music out there. It's kind of a new sound in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the combination of our influences over the course of many years, obviously, it kind of meshed into something that is definitely our own. And, you know, it's like Justin was saying earlier, it happened very organically. We didn't really set out to do anything but something honest and real. And so I think that's what makes it a little bit unique, is that it's got its own sound.
But you know what? I'll say this right now, and people will get mad at me. That's okay. I'm blunt. I tell it like it is. There's not that many people, vocalist-wise, Janet, that can still come from, you know, from the 80s, that style of music, and still can play music and, you know, sing just as good now as they could back then and still fit in right now with the times of change of music and everything. And I think this album's, you've done a hell of a job, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a really amazing compliment.
Yeah, really appreciate that. And again, maybe I might come off a little biased here and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love the Vixen albums and things like that. But I just think, too, I think her voice is just stronger than ever. There's power, more power and more grit to it.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
She's incredible.
Yeah, you definitely...
See what Justin's amazing guitar playing did to me?
But Justin's right, though. You can tell there's more power behind your vocals. There's more comfort behind your vocals, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I was saying, it was nice to obviously to work with Justin, because we both were really ourselves. There was no put on of any kind. We just were raw and open. And then I just sort of took the opportunity to experiment a little bit and do some things I had never done in the studio before. And that was really refreshing for me to do it that way. So there's a few things on there. It's like, wow, I can do a little falsetto scream. I didn't know I could do that before. Now,
I want to go back just a little bit. You can either do this in, like, you know, when you was part of Vixen or something that's happened now. But is there any show or moment that stands out more to you than any, you know, that you can recall of?
There's a couple in both camps. Recently, I thought our show in Sellersville, Pennsylvania was just, it had a magic to it that doesn't happen that often. The band was firing on all cylinders. The crowd was there with us. People were singing along really loud. That was a great, great time. And I'll never forget the first arena tour that we did with Vixen. We opened for the Scorpions in Europe. It was in Copenhagen. First time, we had ever heard a crowd roar like that. So that was pretty intense, unforgettable.
Yeah, that's another band that still impresses me to this day. they still
Those guys,
they still can bring it for sure.
every night.
They were just on fire.
That was
Just a fantastic tour.
and they're still doing it.
For both of you, what made you want to become a musician? What was that spark that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
Wow. I think it was just at a very, very early age, the days, the great golden days of MTV, of, music videos and stuff. And I'll never forget seeing Kiss on TV and stuff and just going, oh my God, that looks so cool. That is so fun. And the song is just sticking in my head, in my ear. I think, God, I was like 4 or 5. I was really young. And it touched a part of me that just has never left since that day. And I just love the expression in music. It's the universal language of the world. And it's just so moving. And I love that, if you're having a good day or a bad day or whatever, there's always something in a song that could touch you and lift you back up or whatever you need it for.
Yep, that's the same for me. I've always had a
Connection to music long before I ever knew that I had any ability, or before it was a possibility that I could actually be involved in it. I was always, since a very young age, moved by music. And
same thing.
when I first got in my first band, that was it. I knew it was like, this is home to me.
If you both could work with any musician that has passed away or is still alive today, or any band that you like to see get back together, who would it be possibly, if anybody?
Man,
It's funny because we get asked this question once in a while, and I'll think of things, as I'm like driving in the car and I'll hear a song or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to the actual question, then I can't think of anything. But Justin, you have to take this one.
Oh, that's tough.
We just finished working with each other, and it was so satisfying.
I was
that I just really don't even.
I was gonna say I just did it over the last 6 months, so yeah, I can't think of anybody else I'd rather work with. As corny as that might sound.
Oh, people are going to be throwing up all over the place.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah, they're going to be like, this ain't a rock show. What the hell? This is like Love Connection. What the fuck?
We're still newlyweds, so you'll have to excuse us. Give us another 10 years, and then we'll be like ragging on each other right on every interview.
No, never. Oh.
That'd be hilarious. We used to be awesome. Fuck you. Go to hell.
It was mean to me in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I'm sure you both get this, but what's it mean to you guys when you receive an email from a fan, or prior to the shows or after the shows, they tell you that your guys' music has pulled them through a bad experience or gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just made them get away of the everyday bullshit that we go through? What's that mean to you guys personally?
It's the greatest feeling ever. And that's why through all the crazy ups and downs and sideways, and it's a crazy business. And that's what keeps you doing it. Not only is it very satisfying just, to express yourself no matter who's hearing it, but then when somebody comes to you with something like that, it's the greatest feeling ever. You can't beat that.
It really is. It's so heartwarming, and it feels so good to hear. I mean, when you think back to when you started the song and you were recording it, I mean, literally in our case, in our pajamas a lot of times, and somebody comes up to you after a show and just says how great of a time they had, and, it meant something to them, and thank you for coming. It's like, no, thank you for coming. I mean, it feels so good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a song on this album called Candle, and it's very personal to us. And to me, I wrote it about my parents. They both passed away within a short period of time of each other, and I was with my dad alone when he took his last breath, and it was an incredible moment. And a lot of people who recently have lost someone come up after the show and say, I was just really moved by that, and it made me sad, but made me feel good all at the same time. And that's just a beautiful thing to hear.
I gotta say, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I did have Vixen's cassette tape. I had Brittany Fox's cassette tape, so
Very Very cool.
Yeah, Lita Ford, I ate it up. I mean, all of that stuff was just great. I just couldn't get enough of it. But I'd just like to say as a fan, thank you both. Thank you so much for staying around and still putting music out.
Well, thanks.
Thanks for sticking around with us and for supporting us on this journey. You know, it's like I said, there's a lot of ups and downs, but
People like you
that make us want to keep going. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, buy this new album? How can they do that?
Well, the album's available everywhere. Of course, on Amazon, iTunes. It's available in retail outlets. You can find out where we're playing on our Facebook page. It's just Janet Gardner. And that's about it.
Before I let you go, would you both care to do a promo for the show?
love to.
Sure.
Hi, this is Janet Gardner.
And Justin James, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. I once again ask all of my metalhead brothers and sisters out there, please keep the families that have been affected by these catastrophic hurricanes in Texas, the Caribbean, Florida. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers, because materialistic things can be replaced. Lives cannot. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Janet. I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank
Thank
you. We
you.
had a wonderful time.
Now you're the